Hello everyone, my name is Luca and I am the head of sales in Agremo. In this video, I will demonstrate the possibility of the Agremo app for the agriculture. So in the beginning, just want to give you a short introduction about the Agremo and what we do. Agremo is a precision ag platform which is designed to improve field scouting, crop monitoring operations. So we use AI and aerial imagery to provide some specific information about the crops. So as an aerial imagery, we are using drones and recently satellites. Our main product is still the analytics for the drone imagery, for the high resolution drone imagery, which I will show you the example of these analyses, walk you through some use cases. But also we recently added the satellite imagery, where we provide the early alerts if there are some changes in the plant health appears. So the whole process goes like this. So the first step is to map a field with the drone. After that, you upload those data to Agremo app. The Agremo app offers also the stitching, so the images will be stitched. You will get an orthomosaic map and you will be able to request an analysis. So this is one example of the cornfield. We have here two images in two different stages, and I'll walk you through the offerings of the Agremo platform. So this is one RGB map. This is the corn in V3 stage. So the plants are pretty small but still visible. And the next step here is to create a field boundary. So there are two options to do this. You can either draw them manually with this tool, or you can import them as KML or shapefile. So if you have KMLs or shapefiles, you can upload them directly to the app. Also, one of our strategic partners is John Deere. We have an API with My John Deere Operations Center, so you can connect to application and exchange the data between two applications. So the most common case is that you can import fields and field boundaries or planting files to the Agremo app and send the prescription maps to the John Deere Operations Center and then put them directly into the machinery. So once the annotation is created, it will appear like this as this blue polygon. So when you click on it, it will become yellow and request some of the analysis. So while we are here, I want to introduce you to the offerings. So and just to emphasize one more time, all these analyses that I'm showing you right now are applicable to the drone imagery. So stand count analysis. This is something that we developed first, and the analysis that Agremo is, I would say, famous. So we have two types of the analysis. The one is variable rate stand count and the stand count. So we are in Agremo, if you're planting with variable rates, we have this special analysis that help you to get the stand counts. We have then the plant count and size analysis. I want to emphasize here that this analysis is only for the vegetables. So if we're speaking of the field crops, then the stand count would be the right choice. Plant population as well is something that's only designed for the fruits and vegetables. It gives you the exact number of plants, while stand count gives you some additional information, and I'll walk you through the analysis and show you the examples. Then we have the canopy cover analysis. This analysis measures the vegetative coverage versus the ground coverage. This is very useful for high density crops like cereals, wheat, barley, oilseed rape, but also for the row crops like soybeans and potatoes. This analysis help you to see where the rows are closed to get the leaf area index. Here we have two damage detection analysis. This is also something unique for the Agremo app, which means that there are no other applications that offers this kind of the analysis. This is the green snap on corn. So the software can detect green snaps and measure the area that's damaged. Lodging analysis for the cereals. The next analysis is the weed detection analysis. Our AI-based weed analysis is also unique on the market. This analysis differentiates weeds from crops. It's applicable on multiple stages. We have the waterlogging detection analysis. So this analysis detects the potential waterlogged areas. We have flowering estimator. This analysis is specifically designed for oilseed rape. And we have the plant vigor analysis, very interesting and very useful analysis that provides the difference in the plant development throughout the field. So let's go straight now to the results of the analysis. So let's start first with stand count. So when we are talking about the stand count analysis, first what I want to show you here are the results. So the Agremo app provides three types of the results. We have the average seeding density, or the average number of plants per acre. I just want to emphasize here that you can easily switch to the metric system, so you can use hectares, liters, kilogram, but we also have the imperial system with acres, bushels, feet, etc. So we give you the average density per acre, we give the exact number of plants per field, and we give the percentage under the norm. So with this type of information, you can do or solve multiple use cases. So for example, with this percentage under the expected norm, you can decide whether to replant or not. You can evaluate the seed quality, evaluate the planting operation. With the exact number of plants, you can use this information to do the yield estimates. If you take the either average weight of the kernels for corn, if you want to calculate the biomass for the sugar beet or maybe silage corn, you have the information, the exact number of plants, and you get the average density or the stand counts, average stand counts per field. So the presentation of these results, so these green areas are zones with full stand counts, red areas are zones with the gaps, and red areas are zones with no plants at all, and yellow areas are zones with the gaps. Something very specific for this analysis and for the Agremo in general is that we are analyzing every square meter of the field. So some other applications on the market are doing the sample analysis, which means that they will count plants in one sample here, one sample here, one sample here, and then they will do the estimation. They will give you the average number of the plants per these zones. In Agremo, we analyze every square meter of the field. So we have this presentation of the results, but also we have this zone management tool where you can create a zone management or plant population maps based on the desired plant population. So you can select the number of the zones, but it's for me to explain how this tool works, I would use 10 by 10. So with 10 by 10, you can select also the number of the zones, let's say 5, and on this slider, you can put the targeted population in each zone. So based on these areas, when you click apply, the software gives you the population map. So if we adjust this and lower these areas, you will see how the map is changed. Okay, one of the advantages of Agremo app is that on the same app, we can apply multiple analyses. This is the example of our weed detection analysis that we apply on this same app. So, as I mentioned earlier, we are using the artificial intelligence. So we are teaching the software to differentiate crops, but also to differentiate weeds from crops. We are using multiple patterns in this algorithm to differentiate weeds from crops. And this approach allows us to solve this specific use case, which is green on green. So the software can differentiate weeds from crops. So during the growth period, software differentiate weeds from crops. So, okay, we have here these large weed areas, but we also have here the smaller ones. So you will see software detects them all. And here you have the chart, which tells you at the end what is the exact percentage of the field, of the weeds in the field, and you have this image to see where they are. But the greatest value of this analysis is this tool, where you can simply create a prescription maps for the herbicide application. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have API with my John Deere Operations Center, but we provide data that is compatible with both ground sprayers and spraying drones. So the first thing you need to select here is the machine type that you want to use, and based on that you have the size of the zone. Also here we put it for the drones that it's 3x3, but if you have some smaller sprayer that will fit into the 3x3 meter zone, you can select that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's only for the drone. It's also the file can be uploaded for both. So let's say we're doing it with the drone, so it's 3x3. Here you can select the number of the zones that you want to use. So I'll walk you through here with two most common or most used use cases. It's with 2 and 3 zones. Let's start first with the 2 zones. Okay, here you select the units. In imperial system, we use gallons. If you use the metric system, you will put liters. So we have here 2 zones. These orange areas are zones with the weeds. The yellow areas are the zones where the software did not detect weeds. And here we have the ability to put the rates per each zone. So I'll walk you through 2 most common cases. The first one is spot spraying, which means spray and not spray. So here we can apply, for example, 25 gallons per acre. And in the zones with no weeds, we will apply 0. When we click apply, the software automatically calculates how many gallons you need to spray this whole field and what is the savings compared to the flat rate. With this slider over here, we can adjust the percentage of the weeds in each zone. So if we lower this, you will see how the map is changed. And how the savings is also changes. But let's say that our recommendation is to put it on the 90% of the weeds in zone, and this is based on the percentage of the weed, it calculates this. On the second is that we will apply the variable rates, which means that we don't have the zone with no weeds, where we won't apply any amount of the herbicides. So let's say we will apply either 10 gallons per acre or 15. It's completely customizable. Whatever you want to apply, you can put here. Let's say it's half of the dosage, half of the recommended dosage we will apply in zones with no weeds. Why we want to do that? In some cases, for example, in the pre-emergent stages, there might be some weeds that are very small, that they are like size of a nail or something like that, which the software was not able to detect. So to be sure that we spray the whole field and destroy those small weeds, we apply the lower amount. It's not necessary to apply the same amount in the weed zone where we have this high weed pressure, in the zones where the software cannot detect the weeds. So this is the, let's say, safe path. But with this safe path, we still save close to 20% of the herbicide application. You can multiply this with the cost of the herbicides and calculate the return of the investment on this type of the analysis. We can also put 3 zones and say, okay, here we want to apply the maximum amount, here the half of the amount, and here we want to apply, for example, 5 liters per acre, and create a prescription maps. So when we create, we are satisfied with the setup, we click export. We either send this to my John Deere Operations Center, or we can share this to our email. You type your email, or you can send your customer email if you're service providers, and share the prescription map with your users. The third analysis I want to show you here is our vigor analysis. So this analysis provides the variability in the plant development, or variability in the plant vigor. So a short history of this analysis and how it's developed. So we are working with one fertilizer company, and they had a request to create a analysis that will help them to measure the efficiency of their products. Their products were growth regulators and fertilizers. So we developed the analysis that is combining plant height, leaf color, leaf structure, and canopy coverage, and differentiate zones with excellent, good, and poor vigor. So based on those 4 parameters, the software differentiates zones with excellent, good, and poor vigor, and we have the zones with no vegetation. A lot of people are comparing this analysis to NDVI, and it's good to compare. Just to emphasize, why are we going further in this? So the NDVI is only using the leaf color. We use leaf plant height. We use the leaf structure, canopy coverage, but also the software differentiates ground cover versus the plant cover. So just to see how this analysis works, you can see here clearly the difference in the color, in the canopy coverage. You can see the ground here, and how this analysis works and shows the results. So there are multiple use cases for this analysis. We can use this analysis to create a fertilizer maps. We have many use cases that you can find on our website, where this analysis helped growers to optimize the fertilizer usage, but also to get the even yields. So here it works the same as the previous tool. We select the size of the zone. Let's say we want to use it with machines. We can put pounds per acre if we use the granular fertilizer, liquid fertilizer. We can use gallons. Let's say we use pounds. We use 4 zones, and here you can put any amount to get the prescription maps for the fertilizer application. Other use cases is to use this analysis to get the zonations or the zones where to take the samples. If you want to do soil sampling, if you want to do the yield estimation, you have the zones with the different development, plant development status. So you can use these zones to take the samples, get the average, multiply it with the number of the plants from this 10 count analysis, and do the yield estimations. Besides our AI-based analysis, we offer also these NDVI indexes and the vegetation indexes. So this is here the example of NDVI map. As you can see, you get the color-coded map, which is good. Not say it's bad, it's good. You can use it to determine the health status. But as you see, the R analytic analysis, the AI-based analysis, we give the numbers and information that are easy to understand. Want to show you this tool. It's the compare tool, and this is a very good example where this application will show and demonstrate how are the weeds affecting the plant development or the yield at the end. So with this slider, we can see here where are the zones where we had weeds and how are they affecting in the later stages. So the weed detection analysis was done in V3. This is in R1 stage. And with this slider, you can see clearly how are these zones affecting the vigor and the plant health in different stages. So, okay, let me walk you through the other analysis here. I want to show you green snap analysis. This is one example. This is the corn field. We have the green snapped areas. And this is something very unique and specific. We developed this analysis for the insurance industry. So we trained the software to be able to measure and to detect the green snaps. So if this happened to your field, you can do the pretty accurate calculation of the green snapped areas. So you can use this for the insurance claims to calculate the exact loss, but also to calculate the yield loss, because you won't be able to harvest these areas. So we get the exact percentage of the field that's snapped and the size of those fields, and you can see where those zones are. This is the same as with the lodging analysis. This is very good example here to I like to show, because here you can clearly see the power of the AI, because the software differentiate trails from the machinery from the logged areas. Here are the trails. Here are the lodgings. Let me turn off the results to show you how it looks. We have multiple cases while we were working with the insurance industry where the reports from the damage assessors and the farmers and the Agremo will totally different. And when they see this kind of the report and this kind of preview, they can see what the software analyzed, and they get the clear analytics and the exact numbers on how big is this damaged areas. There are two other analyses I want to show you. This is one example in sugar beet, but just want to tell you that all these analyses are also applicable on all other crops. So first thing I want to show is that I mentioned earlier that Agremo app offer stitching services. If you prefer to work with some other platform, that's fine. You can upload orthomosaic to Agremo. It will also be displayed like this particular field. But what's the advantage of using our solution is that you can, use or you can get the elevation map for this particular field. So this is the elevation map. You have the legend here. These blue areas represents the zones with the lower spots, and here we have the tallest spot in the field, and you can get the idea of how this field is elevated. Another two analyses I wanted to show you is the canopy cover analysis. This analysis measures the vegetative coverage versus the ground coverage. It's very useful for the row crops, high density crops, to see where are the gaps. We have one example where this analysis was used to spot the mouse holes in the wheat to calculate or to evaluate the damage, and they were using this analysis to put the poison over there, or you can use this to calculate the leaf area index. You can use this analysis in row crops to find out, for example, in soybeans, where the rows are closed or not in certain stages. So, you know, the zones where the rows were not closed, they are potential for waterlogging, spreading weeds, spreading diseases, etc. So here we give the pretty straightforward information. Size of the zones with canopy, with no canopy, and what's the total. And the last analysis I want to show you is the waterlogging detection. So the waterlogged areas, the software detects the waterlogged areas and wet areas. So you can compare the elevation model and request this analysis. Just want to emphasize also here that this analysis can be requested also in pre-planting period. So you can get the elevation and request this analysis to see where the potential waterlogged areas might appear to prevent the loss. Like in this case, where close to 40% of the field is destroyed due to the waterloggings. The waterloggings are something that can cause you the problems every year. So you have the ability to prevent that loss. So that's all from the drone analysis. I just want to go quickly through everything that I said and to summarize what is the advantage of the Agremo, what we offer. So first of all, it's the online app. So you're accessing it through the browser. You don't need any expensive computer to run it. Everything is happening online. We offer the unique set of analyses like stand counts, weed detection, green on green weed detection, damage detection analysis, waterlogging analysis. We offer the ability to create a prescription maps for fertilizers with our plant vigor analysis, for herbicides with our weed detection analysis. We are compatible with all the drones. We process both RGB and multispectral data, and we are compatible also with all the ground sprayers. We do have the API with my John Deere Operations Center, so you can transfer the data there automatically, but we also provide you with the output that's compatible with other brands. We tested with Case IH, we tested with all ACCO brands, we put it in Trimble, so it's the usage of this is very, very wide if we are talking about the hardware compatibility. Also, what I want to emphasize here is that we are 100% application that's oriented to provide the crop analytics. So stitching is just one of the parts, and but everything that we do is related to the agriculture. So that's why I believe that all the features, all the analysis, everything is related to support agricultural processes. Besides that, in our team, there are a lot of people with the agriculture background who can provide you the full support from flying the drone, creating maps, requesting analysis, solve ag-specific use cases that you might have, even to provide you with the guidance on how to import the spraying file into specific machinery. And at the end, I want to show you our latest tool, latest feature that we have. It's the alert system with the satellites. So you can add your fields to be monitored by the satellite. We are using Sentinel-2 here with 10 by 10 resolution. So you create a field boundary on your field, and the system automatically starts to collect the data from the satellites on the weekly basis. We will take the 2 months back images, and the software will start to monitor and to analyze the fields with this imagery. So we give the basic vegetation indexes here. We have NDVI and DRE and many others. But let me show you the basic example with the NDVI. So this histogram shows you how the NDVI is going through the season. So you can see here in this particular example, the planting was finished, so the germination started. Then we have the growth of the plants. Then we have a small drop here, but then in this particular period we have the good stand count, and then here good NDVI, and then we have a drop. So you can clearly see these areas that starts to turn to yellow and red, the problematic areas, and here the software gives an alert that there is a changes and there is a significant VI difference is noticed. So you need to go out there and check what's going on. You have the areas where you need to go, so you can better orient your field inspection. So you can also either send a drone to do the deeper analysis, use Agremo AI analysis to measure the exact stressed areas, or figure it out what's going on. So this is our, at this point, this is our beta version. So we only have this NDVIs and this alert system, but I think it's very good and very important, especially for the large-scale producers, for the service providers, for the insurance industry. But there is a lot more things that we will add very soon. We will add the weather data. Yeah, what we also have here is the ability to create a prescription map. I would say at this point, it's very good for the fertilizers to use our fertilizer tool. You can select the size of the zones or the machinery. It's 10 by 10 here is the minimum with the satellites. You select the units you want to use, number of the zones. You put here the rates that you want to use, and you click here export results and create in just a few clicks the fertilizer map with the satellites. One very cool tool I like here is also this compare tool, so you can compare maps from this season. Since we only added, I only have this season, but we can select the different dates and compare two maps, compare vegetation indexes. We have this side-by-side thing, and we have this swipe model where you can track the changes in the plant health directly from the application. So thank you for watching this video until the end. If you have any questions, you want to do the one-on-one demo to talk about your specific crops, your specific use cases, everything, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to organize a meeting or the call. If you want to try the application, go on our app, go on our website and request for the demo, or ask our local distributors to give you the code to activate the free trials. See you.